Mini enthusiasts, how are you doing? Welcome back. I hope you're well and I hope you're having a great day. In today's video, it's Brooklands Mini Show. And I've got to start out by saying thank you very much to Cole GT who donated his tickets. So Mark, myself and our partners and Mark's daughter got in for free. So before we get into the battery shots and the lovely minis down there, just a few things to mention. So we had a bit of a disaster. One of the minis broke down and had to be towed into the show. So stay to the end of the video to find out what the problem was. And I mentioned in the previous video, the ticket price for Brooklands Mini Show this year was £26 per person, which personally I think is a bit steep. If you've never been to the museum before, if you've never had a look round there before, then it's probably pretty good value. But if you're going year on year, the museum just never really changes much. And honestly, once you have been round the bus museum, you won't want to do it again. And sorry if you are a bus enthusiast, no harm intended. So one of the other things that was very noticeable was the lack of classic minis at the show. Compared to previous years that I've been, there was probably less than half the classic minis that you usually see at that show. Now, I don't think it was all down to the ticket price, although I'm sure that would have been a consideration for some people. There was an M25 closure for that weekend, which would have seriously scuppered some people's plans in getting to the show, and there was bad weather or rain forecast. Actually, it turned out okay, but yeah, I really think that reduced the number of classic minis at the show. Now, there were lots of BMW minis there, and I don't have a problem with that, I really don't. But I would say the classic minis that were there, they were of a very high class. They were very, very good quality minis to see down at the show. So I don't want to overreact, but when I see shows like that in previous years have been one of the highlights of the year, to see so few classic minis, it really does start to worry me that, is the scene dying off a bit, or am I just overreacting? I'm sure the M25 closure would have had a big impact on that show. So let me know what you think. Drop me a comment. What do you think? Were you at the show? What was it like for you?
You have tried to bring me down. One time, two times, too many. I've been lost, but now I'm found, and I'm not taking it again. So I won't go let you stay ahead, stay ahead. I'm leading, not gonna pay defense. Oh, I won't run all this time. I won't, no I won't. I will fight back, stand back on my own. You cut like blade, but can't break a diamond. You are a beast, but I am a hunter. You held me down, but I'm a climber. You stole my light, but I am thunder. You cut like blades, can't break a diamond. You are a beast, but I am a hunter. You held me down, but I am a climber. You stole my light, but I am thunder. I am thunder. I am thunder. I am thunder. You stole my light, but I am thunder, thunder.
Dear, we have a disaster. How many people does it take to fix a Mini? So we fixed it. Didn't even make it a metre down the road and we're dead again. Lots of traffic. Not a good place to be. Dear, still dead. Sat in for a while now. You can see massive lorries. I think the plan is we just need to get it off the carriageway.
So as you saw, it was Mark's Cooper S that broke down. I didn't get much footage because we were in quite a dangerous place. Luckily, it was coming off the M25 at junction 10, I think it was, where it is closed any further. So everyone had started to queue up and were obviously in stop-start traffic. What went wrong with the car? Not 100% sure at the moment, pretty sure what it was. It was one of those faults that was there 1 minute and gone the next. So we couldn't actually get it going at the side of the motorway. So with safety in mind, the most important thing was to get it off the motorway and get it somewhere safe. So we actually just chucked a strap on it and I towed it the 6.9 miles, I think it was, to Bewley Mini Show with the plan that we would be able to buy points, condenser, rotor arm, whatever it needed from the show. Now this is where it's really disappointing. There was barely any trade there at all. In fact, there was no real new trade there. There were a few sellers, traders selling auto jumble, but very little of it was classic mini related auto jumble. So believe it or not, we couldn't at a mini show buy a rotor arm, a set of points or a condenser. So thanks to one of the subscribers, Mark, that was at the show, he actually had lots and lots of spares with him. So, you know, preparation is key. And if you're driving a classic, you know, certainly if it's a carburetted, distributed points ignition, make sure you carry some spares with you. Lesson learnt there. You know, you can't just assume that they'll have the parts at the show, but I think it was really disappointing at how bad the trade was. I'm pretty sure the actual problem was the condenser. Now, Mark didn't have the correct condenser for a 1973 Cooper S, but he did have one for a later Mini. They all work pretty much the same, so I managed to cobble it up and fit it on the distributor, the ignition system, and get the car running, and it ran fine and got Mark back home again without any issues. So I hope you've enjoyed this week's video. Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate your support. Remember to give it a thumbs up, and if you're not a subscriber, please do consider subscribing. Cheers.